All right, so in this problem, we've been given a square root function. So y equals a times the square root of x minus h. We need to find a and h because those are the unknowns in this equation. So because there's two of those, we've been given 2 points. And again, you're going to have to solve them simultaneously. So your first step is to construct the equations by substituting in the x and y values. So it's going to be 2 equals a square root of 4 minus h. That's equation 1. And equation 2 is going to be 4 equals a square root of x minus 7. That's equation 2. All right. Then you want to rearrange into a equals or x or h equals, sorry. I've done that second one incorrectly, I just realized. Under the bracket, under the square root symbol should be 7 minus h. That's better. I'll do it in blue so there's no issues. All right, 7 minus h. Okay, so you notice that in these equations it's actually not easy to use the elimination method. And that's because you can't just simply add or subtract them, because the coefficient of a is not the same in both equations and it's a square root, which makes it kind of messy. So I like to rearrange into a equals or h equals, which I'll do now. So equation 1, I notice that if I divide by root 4 minus h, that'll cancel out and I'll be left with a equals. So I'll put that over there. So a equals 2 over root of 4 minus h, which I can then substitute into equation 2. So it's going to look like 4 equals 2 over 4 minus h bracket 7 minus h. All right. Oops, that bracket should go outside there. And I've put the root 7 minus h in brackets so that we remember it's all one thing. Now you might think that this looks a bit complicated, but it's not. I'm just going to multiply this entire fraction to the other side, and I do that because it's going to remove the denominator. It's going to flip this fraction over and put the square root on the top. So it's going to become 4 times the root of 4 minus h over 2 equals the root of 7 minus h. That's going to cancel out to make a 2, so it's going to become 2 root 4 minus h equals root 7 minus h. Now I can simply square both sides. So squaring this side is going to become 4 bracket 4 minus h equals 7 minus h. And you notice now there's no squares. We've got nice h values, and it should be quite straightforward to solve from this point on. So I'll gather my h's, I'll move the 4 over to there, and I'll move the 7 over to there. So this is going to become 9 equals 3h. Oh, look at that. It's a nice square number and a nice divisible number. So 3 equals h. And then I'm going to substitute that back into the a formula to find a. So a equals 2 over root of 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1, so it's 2 over root 1. So it's just 2 over 1, which is 2. So a equals 1, h equals 3. Those are my solutions, and I'm going to substitute them back into the equation. So 2 root x minus 3. That is the final equation because I've been asked to find out what it was, knowing a and h. So to recap, this one is a little bit more complex because of the root signs involved. But if you follow your process, just go one step at a time, use brackets to help you, all right? And think about the fact that you don't like square roots in denominators. So when you can multiply them to the top on the other side, that is very helpful because it makes things a lot more straightforward. Also remember that to get rid of square roots, you have to square both sides of the equation because it will cancel out the root symbol.